Holding up all right? I can't buy you a beer in person. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to go. Have to go get one. I'll be in. I tell you what. I'll be in Miami this weekend. I'll grab one down there. On your behalf, I do appreciate that. Nice. Well, thank you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Do appreciate it. WBV. Let's see what that is. Here we go. BitShares. With this chart, you can see that this thing basically has been crushed, like ridiculous. That thing has the potential on a full breakout, full reversal to go back up 800 something percent. I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. And the reason that is once we turn on the 231, you can see that there's still a lot of negative. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Hold the phone. Is that columns? Let's see here. All right, that was a different chart. That's my bad. My bad. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to turn off the red, turn on the 231. Let's do 343. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so for this one, we'll turn this off too. This one actually doesn't look bad. Not bad at all. 1386. All right, so what I'm going to do to try to figure out where we're at is we have to basically go all the way back here just to try to get some reasonable scale of cycles. There you go. That's it. So all I did was I took this little moment when we started to break out all the way back there in March, and I made these cycle lines that basically give us the energy flows. So you can see, I tell you guys, there's, 3 parts to any cycle: a breakout, breakdown, and then flatline. Right? Now, what's going to be interesting is this technically is another flatline section. And this goes all the way till about January. But I think what's going to end up happening is this energy there it goes. 1991 is going to be a hard ceiling. So it's 33. This is basically what's going to happen. We're going to go up, but we probably won't go up more than 2,000 on this run here. See that? So it'll basically step up, and that's the problem with some of these smaller coins. And I said it before on one of the other channels, is that, it took the elevator down, so it's going to have to take the elevator back up. But the good news is that once we actually get north of this area, which is the 1.0, once we get north of that cycle, that little energy segment, we might try somewhere in there mid-spring. Then, we're back into potentially a new extension. But for now, we're pretty much suppressed under 1900. And then once we get above that, we're suppressed between 19 and 33, because those were 2 major sections of the chart, right? And you don't just break out overnight. Granted, we got a chance to go up 800%, but ultimately you have to figure, what is your time worth? If you want to get 800% in a year, that's not really that great of a return in cryptocurrency, especially when you consider Litecoin just went up 200% in a couple days. So this coin is definitely poised to get you, you know, a couple 100%, but then it's a matter of how long will it take you, right? This thing goes all the way out into midsummer. You're just looking to be back above water, and that's not really a great cycle you want to get in. So it's just something to be cognizant of, right? I've seen a few people do pivots. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done it. What else? XLM. We'll do pivots and XLM. And then again, guys, Facebook group right here. Go ahead and share this post right there. Looks like some people are go ahead and trickle in. I will clear the boards and let everybody in that's added themselves since this video started. Ripple is broken, shy, so it's just going to continue stepping down and stepping down and stepping down. It's not close to bottoming out yet. That 231 is steep negative. This is exactly how I do it. Didn't answer all questions. 189 people declined. Answered all questions. 100 people. Come on in. That's it. So make sure you share that post right there, pinned to the top, and we'll go ahead and do XLM. All right. This is a good chart. So you see this one looks completely different. This is a very good chart. 343. Let's clear it for a second. What we see is we're clean and clear, meaning the blue is above the 231 and the white is above the blue. That's money on money, right? And now we got a situation to where one of two things can happen. We can either break out or we could break down. That's really it. Like, you know, this is how it will look either way. All we're going to do is do a Fibonacci from those two intersections. Bam, bam. Bring our candles out just to confirm it. That's not bad. We can bring it up to that intersection and we can cap both of them. You see, I just switched the intersections. I was at the lower one first. But when I move it up there, I actually capture the extreme points. Both of those candles are capped now. So this is the one I would roll with. And now let me get these squigglies out of here. Now let's see what each potential would look like. This is basically our baseline right here. That 1.0. This 1.0 is basically our baseline, meaning as long as we're above that, then more than likely we're going to keep going higher, right? But if we drop down below that 1.0, then we'll probably fall down to the 765, and we'll most likely catch ourselves at the 705 before doing something like that. I don't think XLM is done by any means, but if you're looking to buy this thing, I would say the best points to buy it would be either right there or you wait. I would wait and then buy it right there. If you can't catch it down there, then you wait it out until it clears another cycle and buy it there. And how do we know when it'll clear that cycle? We just do our little extension, and I promise you, bam, freestyle on a Fibonacci one time like a boss, hit it nail on the head. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's just a chart. The chart's talking. I listen. So this is where, if it continues, this is what that would look like, something like that. But that's where you would want to buy it at if you can't get it down there. I don't recommend buying it here because it's like it's half pregnant. You know, you can't be half pregnant. You got to pick a side. So technically, you could buy it over here, but the problem with that is that we're going to have candles that crash through that line all the time. So if you hold off and buy it up there, you're basically locking yourself into some real deal money and some future profit. Ideally, this thing does pull back a little bit, you know, so everybody can get in down there at 700 before it goes up. A lot of people are asking about Ripple. To be honest, I think the banks are screwing Ripple over, basically pulling a power move and pumping stellar lumens instead, just to probably get some more leverage on Ripple to get some more, you know, of whatever they're building for a better price. I have no idea how they work, but you know, if banks got money and that's what Ripple is designed to do, to move money, and banks moving all the money, then they can easily just say, we don't like you anymore. We're going to go take our business over here, pump this one up about 80%, come back to Ripple, buy it for 200% cheaper, and do the same thing they wanted to do for a third of the price, right? So you got to think about that too, because essentially these things both move monies on enterprise platforms, and they're both funded by Wall Street, you know, Fortune 100 companies. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, be cognizant of. But that'll basically lock you in either way. See right there, bam, bam. I don't think you should. I think you would probably want to wait until, I would say, if you didn't want to wait till you got all the way up there, you could put a buy in right there. That way you're able to make a little bit more profit. But this is an either or situation. Either you buy it after it confirms that it's breaking out, or you wait till it self corrects and it dips a little bit. That's it. Either way, it's still a solid coin on a decent reversal, and this thing has a lot more money that it's going to see. It'll probably definitely get all the way up there to the 1.6. But by hedging yourself, you're not really wasting the time waiting on it to hit. XLM. And I think Bittrex. I haven't seen this chart in a while. Last call, guys. If you haven't shared this post right there, I'm coming back in about 30 seconds. I'm going to bang this chart out. Then we go pick a winner. How many likes do we have in the chat? Let me know how many likes we got. All right. So for this one, it looks like what I did here is I just took do a cycle progression from this high point up here to this low point down here, and that's basically swinging the 77 to figure out the momentum inside of this stuff and the different waves. And what it does is it basically shows the progression of energy and what you can expect as a result. So I expect this one I expect 25. 25 is a hard bottom, which means basically that's like the global support. I don't think PIVX has ever been lower than 0.00025, right? And what you can see right now is these candles bounced right off of it. You know, see, it's kind of cool how I turn the candles off, but then when I turn them back on, they just magically show up at that 1.6. It's all a matter of the intersection. So if you follow the intersections, you won't have to worry about the candles. But what we see here is basically we have momentum, you know, tied to these pink areas, right? So over here, we had a breakout, breakdown. This could be argued that it was a flat line, but it's on a lower part of the graph. So essentially this thing will roll over right there. And I think this is probably where you want to look to buy this thing after that 231 starts to go flat, right? It's unfortunate, but that won't be till the middle of January, February sometime. So this coin you probably want to hold off if you're looking to invest. Then I would probably put a buy order down there at 25 again. See if you can hit it right there, 259. It's a good area to buy it, and in that way, you know, you're guaranteed the momentum moving into the future. It's not a bad setup, even still. You know, this thing is set up to do 30% pretty easy in the next 2 months, so it's not a bad coin to have. But again, I think it's a lot more money to be made on some of these coins that are already more along the correction process. This thing has basically been swinging back and forth. And this will basically be a full cycle reset. So when we do hit, you know, that line in February, March, then you'll probably be looking at another run to where we do something crazy like we did over here, right? Because that's still built into the chart. We just haven't seen it in a while. So once we complete this thing, you know, we could easily do something like that to where we go up, you know, to 0.15, 0.01, 0001, you know, because basically that's, look at that 231. It's like wave, sleep. And we need this thing to dovetail all the way down. Nobody even thinking about PIVX. And that's when you want to buy it, because that's just in time for the next ride on the money train. So there you go, guys. PIVX, Stellar, and BitShares. Hope that helped. You know, that's the way I try to you know, hook you guys up if you stick around in the chat before we go live on air. All right, cool, guys. Here we go. We are getting started now. Again, last call. If you haven't shared that post, this is the group. Make sure you jump in there and do it, and we will be getting started. Let me load up BTC. Bam. Got that.